You're watching LWT. Now today's international news from ITN with Trevor MacDonald. It's 8:45.
The news from ITN.
Labour's dream ticket fights off the left-wing challenge. Ben Johnson tells Canadian children, "I'll never let you down." The Olympics end without him in spectacular style. And Discovery remembers the Challenger 7 who never returned. Good evening. A triumphant Neil Kinnock is celebrating in Blackpool tonight after winning a massive majority for his dream ticket. He and his deputy, Roy Hattersley, were re-elected with the overwhelming support of the trade unions, MPs and the constituency parties. Mr. Kinnock called it a positive vote for unity and for change, a clear reference to the party's policy reforms. The Labour leader got 88.6% of the vote, a 9-to-1 majority over Mr. Tony Benn, who polled just 11.4%. In the deputy leadership contest, Roy Hattersley got 66.8%, John Prescott 23.7% and Eric Heffer 9.5%, with negligible union support.
It's been clear for several days that Mr. Kinnock and Mr. Hattersley would win, but it's the size of tonight's vote that's important.
Tony Benn, a total vote of 11.370%. Neil Kinnock, a total vote of 88.630%. I therefore declare that Neil Kinnock is elected leader of the Labour Party.
This decisive vote means three things. First, it's a resounding endorsement of Mr. Kinnock's style of leadership. The sniping at him and the charges that he's lost control should stop. Second, it means the sidelining of Tony Benn and the left. And third, it's an endorsement of what Mr. Kinnock is trying to do and the complete modernisation of Labour Party policies and organisation.
Both from the way in which the vote was delivered, in the ballots, in the constituency parties, a huge number of constituency parties, in the attitudes that were expressed by the members of the Parliamentary Labour Party, Labour MPs, and the trade unions, the message coming through all the time was, look, this is because we think you're doing the right thing and because we want you to do more of it.
3 out of 4 members of the party, clearly on tonight's figures, want us to go on in the way we're going on. 9 out of 10 members of the party want Neil to be the leader and continue to lead in the direction he's taken us in the past. The snipers, as you call them, don't speak for the party as a whole.
Despite his crushing defeat tonight, Tony Benn was still insisting that it had been a great chance for airing left-wing views.
I think what we've done is worthwhile and has given people hope, and I hope very much that the arguments we put forward will be accepted as part of the mainstream of the Labour Party for peace and jobs and a better health service and more democracy.
John Prescott, who's campaigned for Roy Hattersley's job on the issue of party organisation, also says it was worth it.
I think we won the battle. I mean, this document promoting our values was exactly our arguments, which weren't accepted at the beginning of the year, but are accepted now.
Conference will now spend most of its time on approving or not the work done so far on reviewing and revising policies. But there were early signs today that those on the left of the party are not going to give up their fight over policy.
Surely, in all the talk that's taken place about glasnost and perestroika, we ought to practice a little bit in this conference and have a discussion and a debate within the movement and the party before we decide them.
But tonight was Mr. Kinnock's night. As he arrived back at his hotel this evening, he was surrounded by people offering their congratulations and good wishes. It will certainly buoy him up for what could still be a slightly rough week. Michael Brunson, ITN, Blackpool.
The disgraced Canadian sprinter Ben Johnson has spoken in public for the first time since he was stripped of his Olympic gold. He told a church congregation in Toronto that he hadn't taken drugs, and he said he would never have let down the children of Canada.
Ben Johnson reserved his first public words on the whole affair for the black community in Toronto when he attended an awards ceremony with his mother. He was receiving a trophy for his achievements in sport, and he vowed to return to the next Olympics stronger than ever.
I just want to say I never would do such things as they said I did to embarrass my family and the whole of Canada and the whole world, and for mostly of the kids who look upon me as a great hero. Even I don't have to run for two years. I'll be able to come back in 200 games, and hopefully when I do come back, it won't be any waving any here. I'll be running my best race of my life, and hopefully I will set in the fastest time ever recorded in the world.
There's no doubting that for many people here, Ben Johnson still has hero status, despite the present cloud over his career. The Canadian Minister for Sport has promised a full, rapid and wide-ranging inquiry into the whole affair. If Johnson is proved to be an innocent victim, he's promised to lift the lifetime ban against him competing for Canada. David Chater, ITN in Toronto.
Despite the drug scandals, the Seoul Olympics have been hailed as the most successful ever. At a spectacular closing ceremony, Olympic chief Juan Samaranch said the Games had upheld the global ideals of sport. Britain finished in 12th place overall with 5 gold medals. The Soviet Union came top, ahead of East Germany and the United States.
Inside the glowing Olympic Stadium, Korea prepared to say goodbye to its guests. A record 160 countries had competed side by side. Now they celebrated as one. Britain led the fun and games. Captain Mark Phillips, bespectacled and saddled up for the party. Steve Cram dancing away his disappointments on the track. For now, all troubles were forgotten. Britain happy to be taking home 5 gold medals. Though one man was missing from their informal lap of honour, judo's Kerrith Brown, stripped of his bronze, a reminder of how drug abuse tarnished these games. The Canadians can't forget how their hero Ben Johnson let them down. 10 sportsmen were exposed here, a sign of the IOC's determination to clean up the scourge of sport. For the Koreans, though, success both on and off the field. With 12 gold medals, they'd finished 4th behind the giants of East and West, far outstripping patriotic hopes.
The South Koreans have achieved what many thought impossible. Despite their own internal problems, this small, developing nation has succeeded in bringing the Olympic family back together again.
They'd bridged the gap between East and West for the first time in 12 years. The joy and sorrow of parting was the theme of tonight's extravaganza. The Olympic spirit left Seoul stronger than when it arrived, to be rekindled in Barcelona 4 years from now. Jeremy Thompson, ITN, at the Seoul Olympics.
The crew of the Space Shuttle Discovery have paid a moving tribute to the Challenger astronauts killed on the last shuttle mission. They said being in space made them feel closer to the 7 who died. Discovery now prepares for the most difficult part of its mission, tomorrow's return to Earth.
Discovery Houston, we're with you through Hawaii.
Floating high over the Pacific, their mission in its last day, the crew of Discovery sent down a tribute to their 7 colleagues who died on Challenger.
At this moment, our place in the heavens makes us feel closer to them than ever before. Today, up here where the blue sky turns to black, we can say at long last to Dick, Mike, Judy, to Ron and Elle, and to Krista and Greg. Dear friends, we have resumed the journey that we promised to continue for you. Dear friends, your spirit and your dream are still alive in our hearts.
Then, in a Space to Earth press conference, the commander revealed that during the successful liftoff Thursday, there'd been a frightening moment.
Right at liftoff, we had a caution and warning tone, actually an alert tone, which got our attention real quick and gave us a few moments to concern ourselves about it.
And pilot Dick Covey said the liftoff had been rather exciting.
It was really wonderful when we lifted off. It certainly was a lot more anxiety-producing than we had anticipated, or at least I had. I had forgotten what it was like to accelerate at 3 Gs for a sustained period of time, and how helpless you really feel during that time period.
And they said they'll leave space with mixed emotions.
Joy for America's return to space, thanksgiving for the safety of our crew, reverence for those whose sacrifice made our journey possible.
Ken Reese, ITN, Washington.
4 firebombs exploded and 3 others were found at estate agents advertising Welsh houses to English customers. An anonymous caller said the Welsh nationalist group Sons of Glendower planted the devices at West Kirby, Neston, Telford, Worcester, Chipping Campden and Bristol. The bomb at the West Kirby office caused the worst damage, but staff there say they won't be intimidated. At Neston, a passerby spotted the bomb before it could cause too much damage. The South African government is refusing to confirm or deny reports that President Botha has agreed to the unconditional release of Nelson Mandela. President Botha is said to have given the assurance to President Mobutu of Zaire.
This was President Botha's 3rd safari into Black Africa in as many weeks, and it took him across the equator for a jungle oasis meeting with Zaire's President Mobutu. It was their first ever encounter, but President Botha said he recognized their country's interdependence.
Obviously, we all need each other.
The two leaders spent some 6 hours at President Mobutu's Marble Palace, and in a surprise joint statement said they discussed not only regional peace moves, but also the future of the Sharpeville Six and the future, too, of Nelson Mandela.
President Botha's flexible approach concerning the release of Nelson Mandela was a source of encouragement to President Mobutu.
Mr. Mandela himself was, meanwhile, spending his 5th week in a luxury Cape Town clinic. His possible release, the source of mounting speculation. Mr. Mandela is one black leader President Botha has so far refused to talk to. But with every diplomatic foray into Black Africa, the pressure on him to free his most famous prisoner will only grow. Kevin Dunn, ITN, in South Africa.
4 British tourists were among 6 people who died in a freak storm which lashed southern Spain. Worst hit was Malaga, where flash floods wrought havoc. 2 of the Britons died when their car was washed away. Many other vehicles were caught up in the storm and were extensively damaged. Rail links between Madrid and the east coast were cut. The 2 other Britons drowned when high seas engulfed their yacht off Mallorca. While Tony Benn lost the Labour leadership race, a horse called Tony Bin won Europe's richest racing prize, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe in Paris. The Italian-trained horse, ridden by Northern Ireland jockey John Reed, stormed through in the final furlong, beating the favourite Toto by a head.
And it's now Boyatino and Unfaway that share the lead from Empson back in 3rd. Finishing fast on the outside is Tony Bin, who's really finishing fast in the yellow sleeves. And Toto is helping his jockey, but too late. And it's Tony Bin that strikes the front, but they go up towards the line, and Toto flies to the death. But Tony Bin wins, and Toto is 2nd.
The full result: 1st Tony Bin, 2nd the British horse Toto, 3rd the French hope Boyatino. Motor racing, Alain Prost of France is 11 points clear in the Drivers' Championship after winning the Spanish Grand Prix at Jerez. He came in seconds ahead of Britain's Nigel Mansell. Italy's Alessandro Nannini was 3rd, with Ayrton Senna of Brazil 4th. Finally, the Duchess of York found light summer dresses weren't quite the thing for windy Australian weather today. As she followed her husband off the bus at the Botanic Gardens outside Sydney, the wind caught her hemline while she firmly tried to hold on to her hat. She took in the breathtaking view as the wind almost took her dress away. By now she managed to maintain her sense of royal decorum, but she was leaving nothing to chance, one hand on the hat and the other on the dress, and she managed to smile through it all. And just a reminder that from tomorrow, ITN expands its news service with 3 mid-morning bulletins on weekdays. News on ITV at 9:55, 10:55 and 11:55 from tomorrow morning. But now, from all of us here on the ITN Weekend team, good night.
Starting tomorrow at 9.
Bernard! Where is he?
You think we don't know about the KGB spy here in London going to blow us any minute?
Ian Holm and Len Dayton's Game, Set and Match, starting tomorrow at 9 on Thames.
Hello. Most of us can look forward to another couple of days of this pleasant dry autumn spell, although we're probably going to pay for it by the middle of the week when it looks like some rain's heading our way. Let's keep to the better news first. Tonight will start off fine and dry, and it'll feel less cold than recently. Temperatures about 10 Celsius, 50 Fahrenheit in London, 2 or 3 degrees lower in some country areas. During the night, it'll become cloudier, and easterly winds will get up to about 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow morning there'll be quite a bit of cloud around and there just might be the chance of a shower. But it looks like most of us will escape with a dry day. By the afternoon, temperatures will be about 17 Celsius, 63 Fahrenheit, and winds mainly southerly, 10 miles an hour. Tuesday should be another nice day, but Wednesday's not so good. It'll feel cooler, and there'll be some rain heading in from the west. We're back next Friday at 6. Have a good week.
Next, piece of cake on LWT.
Put it down. You're safe with that. Well, it won't kill you. Well, I'm not sure about this. Dodgy. Very suspect. I'll tell you what, you have an apple. No, you wouldn't like this.
Petit filou from your play, the dessert truly fit for a king.
It's really you. Don't wrap it. I'll wear it. American Express. You know that means the dress is insured for 90 days. Yes, that's right. Hello. You look wonderful. Thank you. When did you get that dress? Off South Morton's. Oh, yes, I know the one. It's wonderful. Brilliant. Oh.
The dress is ruined, but American Express have said they'll pay for a new one. This will do nicely.
American Express. Membership has its privileges.
Come on, hurry up. We've only got 80 days to do it in.
I'm going as fast as I can.
With the Daily Express Around the World in 80 Days game card, you could win dozens of P&O Canberra cruises, fabulous holidays, a taste of India with Sharwoods, a new Dacia Duster. In fact, a total of £300,000 worth of prizes.
Amanda, look out!
It's okay. I know a shortcut.
Been quicker by balloon.
So, play Around the World in 80 Days, starting this week only in the Daily Express and Sunday Express.
Mark? Sure. I'll be about an hour. Nick? Yes. Give me 20 minutes.
New Finesse conditioner is controlled by time. A few seconds for light conditioning, a few minutes for deep. Finesse conditioner.
Sorry, Simon. I'm washing my hair tonight.
Sometimes you need a little,
White wine, Roger.
sometimes you need a lot.
You're watching LWT,